Hello friends, Jai Shri Ram. Whenever people encourage you to learn React, they normally tell you that it is a great UI library that Meta company has made, the makers of Facebook, Instagram, and it's also used in so many applications as you can see. But today I'd like to share with you what should be the real reason for you to learn React. Why is React the market leader? Why is it the fastest UI library on JavaScript? It is because of virtual DOM and it gives a very smooth experience to the user. So let us understand what is virtual DOM. See, virtual DOM has its pros and cons. Pro is that it is fast, but con is that it takes a little more memory. So what is the whole concept? DOM means what? So let me explain it to you. See, this is your operating system. Operating system is made upon C++. Web browsers are also written in C++. DOM, of course, DOM means document object model. This is the object representation of your web page. That will also be in C++, right? And your browser understands three languages. One is HTML, which gives the structure of your DOM. Then CSS, which gives the look and feel of your DOM. So both these things, HTML and CSS, they define DOM. HTML defines how the structure is and CSS defines how it's going to look. Then what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a scripting language that Netscape Navigator browser came up with. Okay, and the reason for bringing in this coding language, a scripting language, was that writing a script in C++ for your website would have been very heavy. Because it's a heavy language, first of all, its compiler is also heavy. So they wanted a lightweight language. And that's why they developed JavaScript. So you can say that instead of JavaScript, they could have done scripting using C++. It would be absolutely okay. But then there were a little disadvantages that fitting the CPP compiler in the browser would have been really difficult because CPP compilers are heavy. Because the language itself is heavy, you cannot write things unless you write everything in a systematic format, and you need to write a lot, to include a lot of files in order to get the stuff done. JavaScript is not like that. That was the whole purpose of making JavaScript. It had to be a lightweight language, and so it didn't even require a compiler. It just was okay with an interpreter. And then every browser came up with their own JavaScript engines, like Microsoft came up with a Chakra engine, Firefox came with SpiderMonkey, Google Chrome uses V8 engine, and so on. So that was easier to fit in the browser. So that is point number one, due to which JavaScript is used and not CPP for scripting the websites. Another reason is CPP is the same language in which your operating system is written. Do you know most of the viruses use CPP as a language? Or at least the drivers, all the drivers are written in CPP. Drivers means something that drives the mechanical parts of your computer, like input-output devices. So input-output devices speak to your browser, speak to your operating system using drivers. Drivers can be corrupted. Operating system can be corrupted. So how will you corrupt them? By writing in the same language that they understand. Right? So most of the viruses are written, or used to be written when I used to study about it. So yeah, they used to be written in CPP. And so we wanted a different language so that it could create a sandboxing. Sandboxing means if the security flaw is there, then at least it won't, come out of the JavaScript sandbox. It won't reach until the operating system. It won't reach until the browser. Okay, and that's why we needed a new language, and that's why JavaScript is used. Now let us come back to the earlier slides. This is how your system is. Operating system CPP, browser CPP, DOM CPP, virtual DOM. This is what React uses. So React just creates a copy of this CPP objects and it creates it in the form of JavaScript. Why? Because React is a JavaScript library. Okay, so React is a collection of functions which are written in JavaScript. Okay, just JavaScript functions collected together, and that becomes a library, and that library is React. So it is nothing but JavaScript. You can just call it JavaScript. Okay, now since React itself is JavaScript, it does not find it easy to speak to the DOM, and nobody finds it easy to speak to the DOM. DOM change done to the DOM actually is a little memory intensive as well as time intensive. Okay, and that's why what React does is React creates a virtual DOM, which is a cut-to-cut copy of actual DOM, but unnecessary details are avoided, and that's why it is a little lighter version of DOM. So this is a lightweight copy of the actual DOM written in JavaScript object. So it's basically a JavaScript object, and inside that object there will be multiple objects, as you know, just like DOM. DOM is a CPP object. Inside it there are multiple objects, right? Okay, now what React does is React does these things. It updates. See, updating the real DOM is slow, as the browser has to recalculate the styles, layouts, and repaint the screen. So what React came up with is React maintains a simplified version of DOM called as virtual DOM. It is a JavaScript object, so it can be easily compared. Means it compares it with the actual DOM. Okay, and this is called as diffing, means finding the difference. And then means, see, basically when you do anything in a React website, so the DOM has to change. Okay, so the expected DOM is, I mean, all those changes it does to the virtual DOM first, and then it finds the difference that, okay, what have I changed? Let us compare one by one. That is called as diffing. So there are various diffing algorithms by which it finds the difference, and then it batches them together. Okay, it says these are the differences, it batches them together, and as a single batch, it will push it in the form of patch. Now see, batching means collecting all the changes together, and patching means telling the browser that how to update the DOM. So it gives a patch to the browser, and it says this patch has all the changes that you need to make to the DOM. And that's why this is an easy and fast process, because DOM operations are a little memory intensive and time intensive. So it does not do too many DOM changes. It just batches everything and patches it in one go, and that's why it is faster. All the other frameworks based on JavaScript like Angular, what do? They have a different mechanism. I don't know whether I have a slide on that. Yeah, I have a slide on this. So Angular uses incremental DOM, where it updates the DOM as it wants to update. Like if some change, okay, it thinks, okay, this has to be changed in the DOM, it directly goes and tells the browser, oh, change the DOM like this. Then, oh, change the DOM like this also, and change the DOM like this also. It does not batch and patch. That is the main problem. And that's why it has to do this operation over and over again. And as I told you, DOM operations are a little expensive, and that is why Angular cannot reach the speeds of React when it comes to UI updates. So whenever a website is made in React, the UI updates happen very quickly. Why? Because it does not use incremental DOM like Angular. It uses virtual DOM, and it batches and patches. That's the whole thing. And you know, this should be the reason why you should learn React. Because till now, ever since React came into existence, I guess around 2015 or something, I don't know. I don't know, just clarify it on the internet. But till now, till date, till 2025, there is not a single JavaScript library or a JavaScript framework which can give faster UI updates than this virtual DOM mechanism that React uses. And that's why this is the USP of React, and this should be the reason why you should go for learning React. Do let me know what you think about React and whether you should use React or Angular, because these two are the competitors. Angular, I feel, should be used for large-scale applications because it's a framework. It allows you to, build the project, minify the files, tree shaking, all these things it allows you. White space removal, all these things, means minification, all these things are given in the same thing, and that's why it's called a framework and it's not a library. Whereas React is simply a library. It does nothing other than UI update, but it does it really well. It's like Apple, Apple gives very little functionality, but whatever functionalities they give, they are top notch. No one can compete them in those functionalities. Same is the case with React. React gives you very little functionalities, but those are top notch. You cannot compete with it. Angular is backed by Google, and still with so much resources, Google is not able to compete with React because this virtual DOM is absolutely flawless. You cannot compete with it. Okay, so this is why you should learn React. Do let me know in the comment section what you feel about Angular and React. And until next time, this is Amit signing off. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you so much for seeing the video till the end. It does mean a lot to me. Could you also please see the video description? It has index, link to the study material, and also if I've shown any products in this video, then the purchase links to those products. The comment section is open for your suggestions and also for your doubts. I always answer to the first 100 comments on every single video. If you want to support my work, here's my QR code or my UPI ID is amit.shirasao@UPI. Until next time, this is Amit signing off. Jai Shri Ram.